I moved to the quiet cul-de-sac of Meadowbrook thinking I was done collecting surprises. Divorced, childless, working as a remote web developer. My life had settled into a comforting, if lonely, routine. Mornings at the coffee shop, afternoons with my laptop in the back bedroom, evenings inhaling TV reruns or old novels. That changed, though, the day I met my neighbors. I saw them first through the open window of Maple Street Cafe, moving boxes into the empty house next door. A tall man with sandy blonde hair and a friendly grin was directing someone carrying a mattress. Beside him, a woman with chestnut curls laughed as she unpacked a vase. When I got home, I heard the doorbell ring. My first real mail delivery in weeks. I opened it to find them standing there, extending a plate of cookies arranged in a neat spiral of chocolate chips. The man said, "Hi, we're Jack and Vivian Carter, just moved in next door. Thought you might like a cookie." I accepted, thanked them, and learned that they'd come all the way from Michigan, chasing a quieter life. We spoke about the neighborhood, the parks we liked, even an underrated Thai place just down the street. Before I knew it, they'd caught me off guard by inviting me for dinner the following evening. Saying yes felt reckless at first. But as soon as I stepped onto their porch the next night, I realized how thoroughly I'd been missing this kind of connection. Warmth that wasn't transactional, conversation unguarded by expectations. Their living room was soft and inviting. Jack poured us wine while Vivian fixed tacos on corn tortillas. They peppered me with questions about my 7-month freelance stretch, my latest pet project, and what drew me from California to Pennsylvania. In turn, I learned that Jack had left a career in architecture. Vivian taught elementary art at a private school, and they'd adopted a rescue cat named Pippa. We laughed until midnight. I walked home later, leaning on the fence between our yards, thinking I could get used to this level of closeness. We were neighbors, yes, but something felt easier than neighborly courtesy. More familiar. More essential. And then came the offer. It was a chilly Sunday afternoon in October. I'd gone over to return a drop spindle that Jack had loaned me for a woodworking side project. I found them both in their garage, standing beside a large tool chest and some half-finished furniture pieces. "Hey," Jack said, nodding toward a wide wooden table. "We've been working on something." Vivian pulled a sheet off the table surface. Beneath lay a stunning farmhouse-style table, hand-carved legs, imperfections reverently preserved, a glassy finish now drying. "It's how we think of gratitude," she explained, brushing distant sawdust from her sleeve. "Keep your spindle. We want you to take this." I frowned in surprise. They weren't offering to pay me or exchange favors. They were gifting me. Their housewarming turned into something else entirely. They said they had been traveling all over before moving here, Airbnb stays from San Diego to Savannah, and they missed the intimacy homeowners often lose. They built the table as a thank you to their community, to the people who helped them with boxes, gardening advice, and friendly hellos. Their first stop, after being greenlit at closing, had been to deliver treats to neighbors on our street. Now that the initial whirlwind had passed, they wanted to give more, to deepen the connection. "So we made something," Jack said. "A table for you." My breath caught. I didn't have to pay them. They insisted. "If you'll let us," Vivian said softly. "Put it in your dining room. Use it for work. Eat off it. Let it hold your everyday life." I told them I couldn't possibly accept. A handmade table, worth hundreds, maybe more. They just shrugged and said they'd build another someday. They would miss making it, yes. Part of the magic of woodworking was creation. But they didn't need anything this time. Just wanted someone to enjoy it. I left clutching the tabletop in my arms as dusk fell. And somewhere along the walk home, carried on sudden impulse, I said, yes. The next weeks changed everything. My days had light until 5. Now they included Jack's invite to join backyard tiki light hangouts or Vivian's tea and art Sunday mornings. I fixed the table in place near the living room window. I wrote code there. I ate. I built bookshelves. I scrolled social media. The table was a stage for my life, simultaneously a statement. I belonged. Winter came quickly, December snow, holiday lights, hot apple cider. I baked gingerbread across from them, wrote early morning scripts by candlelight, and thought I might not need anything more. Then one evening, it appeared, the house at offer, cloaked casually in shared snow shovel duties. I'd stopped by with coffee and a cinnamon roll tray bright with red icing. They opened the door, arms laden with canvases stacked gently against their shoulders. I finished an installation for next semester. Vivian said, eyes bright. It's on display for a few weeks, and we're supposed to be in Boston for the opening. Jack nodded. We called the school today. Would you, and I mean this, house sit for us? Could be just 5 days. Maybe 10. It felt like the world tilted. Their home had become part of my life. What would it mean to stay there when they were away? Then Vivian continued, we can't stop telling the kids, she laughed softly, that we're trusting you with our home. And we thought you might want some time to yourself. Unplug. No job calls. They described their house as a retreat, spacious kitchen, yoga nook, reading library with a window seat, studio space with art supplies waiting to be used. Even a heated bathroom floor and a guest room that felt like a hotel suite. They wanted me to use it all, no apologies, no curtains left closed. Fill their space with my footsteps. There it was again, that feeling of being seen, that someone had noticed I was chained to my laptop and seldom took vacations. Someone said, rest. You deserve it. I looked at them and saw that beam of hope in Jack's calm blue gaze, Vivian's compassionate smile. Almost afraid to speak, but equally knowing I'd never regret, I said, okay. The moment they handed me the keys, I felt something shift. Their final words, hushed yet sincere. Make it for you. Those days were transcendent in the kindest, most ordinary way. I slept in the guest room with plush blankets and fresh lavender sachets. I cooked dinners in a kitchen that whispered invitations to try new recipes. White wine roast chicken, homemade spanakopita, cheesy pasta from scratch. I read 3 books in 4 days, a sci-fi epic, a memoir of a trail guide, and a rough-translated Philip Larkin poetry collection, all leaning on that window seat overlooking frosted maple branches. But my favorite moments were simple, when I tiptoed downstairs at dawn, curling into a blanket by the fireplace with my laptop open, no demands, watching light pool onto hardwood, snowflakes drifting past the window pane. Or when I practiced morning stretches in their yoga nook, stream of morning light reminding me to breathe. Or when I sat at the big table, writing notes for a side project, humming along to a playlist Vivian had left named Morning Sunshine. I realized how little I'd allowed myself to live outside of work, and that, for once, I didn't want to rush back. I wanted the quiet, the balance, the possibility.